Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. Serious, what are some good ways to build up your self-confidence? Attention. Serious, tag notice. Jokes, puns, and off-topic comments are not permitted in any comment, parent or child. Parent comments that aren't from the target group will be removed, along with their child replies. Report comments that violate these rules. Posts that have few relevant answers within the first hour, and posts that are not appropriate for the serious tag will be removed. Consider doing a NOMA request instead. Thanks for your cooperation and enjoy the discussion. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. Instead of trying to convince yourself to become confident, go learn to do something. Anything, really. Just pick a skill you've always wanted and start learning about it. Practice it. Invest in it. Confidence is a side effect of being good at something. Confidence without competence is, really, arrogance and ignorance. Confidence without competence is, really, arrogance and ignorance. What a beautiful quote. Just know it's okay to be confident in yourself without having many skills. Just be confident in who you are. Learning a new skill, then getting decently good at it such that people come to you for help. Mine is building repair, for instance. I'm not a professional, but I can think outside the box, and that's helpful / impressive to people who can't. For me, it isn't other people's opinions that matter nearly as much as the feeling of being useful. Otherwise, just drill into your mind constantly that you are worthy, you are important, you are a perfectly valid human being who deserves to be happy and feel confident. If you mean as far as social interaction, I have severe social anxiety and I've totally overcome it. The secret. Force yourself to accept that no one is better than you. They might be more successful, or attractive, or whatever, but they are just a human, and you're just a human. I use that baseline for every single interaction I have. Care about people but not what they think of you. This is the perfect way to phrase those inspirational messages that say you shouldn't give a fuck what other people think. Clarifying that you still need to care about others is an important part that is often left out. Going to the gym helped me tremendously with my self-confidence and depression, to the point where I don't take depression meds anymore. Weightlifting in particular has helped me take control of my body and self-image. That helped me a lot too. Of course, when I hurt myself at the gym last year and stopped going, my self-confidence took a massive hit and I've been pretty depressed ever since. I should probably make an effort to go back, but finding motivation is damn hard. Wanna shake hands that you'll go at least once this week? I'd check in every day and see if you went. Sunday's the deadline. Only way to get back into it is to go. 1 day this week, 1 day next week, 2 days in 2 weeks, then 6 months later you've got a routine. Maybe in those 6 months you'll turn around and that empty feeling is waning again. Acceptance of who you are in the present. I had lived my whole life as I'll be the person someday and always saw myself as inferior to my future self. In the last year, I finally just said, I'm not that person in the future, I'm the person I am today. And that was in regards to a dozen things. I'd always been self-conscious about my physique, for instance. And so I'd buy clothing that I'd fit into eventually, and say that who I was today wasn't as fit as I was going to be eventually. And my self-confidence suffered from it because I was always demeaning myself that my present self wasn't good enough. There was this odd moment of zen where I simply came to say this is who I am. And that's not to argue I'm not constantly bettering myself. But the moment I accepted who I was able to own up to insecurities and face things I didn't like. And in effect, you become confident in yourself, even if it's not in the ways you'd always strived for. Edit, in regards to the question of this sounding like you've given up. It's not, and I'll see if I can differentiate it a little bit. So the antonym to self-confidence would be insecurity, right? If you're always thinking of yourself as not as good as you could be in something, and you think of yourself as the future person you envision, you're sort of skirting around that insecurity by never accepting yourself for who you are, but instead accepting what you want to be in the future. And so by never really accepting yourself as you are, you're giving into these insecurities, which by the definition above, is the opposite of self-confidence. You're not confident in yourself because you're not accepting of yourself. And so by simply coming to that conclusion you will exude more confidence in what you have to offer, rather than what you wish you had to offer. You can still endeavor toward those goals, which is why it's not the same as giving up. But there's a much better feeling of acceptance of who you are, which will have trickle-down effects to how self-confident you are. That sound better? Or does it sound like I'm making excuses, lol? Much in the same vein, give your past self a break. I was always so critical of myself when I looked back, lazy, antisocial, cowardly. It took several years of therapy to realize that I was doing the best I could under the circumstances. I always have. So have you. So cut past you some slack and give him/her a hug. Accepting your past goes a long way towards being happy with yourself today. Do things that scare you. Could be little, could be big. Could be standing on a corner giving strangers a high five or asking out that hottie at the bar. When you take steps outside your comfort zone, you teach yourself you can handle a lot more than you thought. It makes it easier to face your fear and do things you want to do, which gives you confidence. So much this. I hate being on boats and flying. But I have slept on a catamaran in the ocean and it was the greatest experience of my life. My kid has my anxiety and I teach him to do things that scare him. 1 down, 1 to go. Time to go take a flying lesson. A good fashion sense. I'm a guy and I got a few girls that I'm friends with to help me with my style. It helps a lot. I feel much more comfortable and even some girls have been flirting with me more too. Good fashion ups your self-confidence by a lot. Lol, my fashion sense is terrible. That's why I always wear the same stuff and haven't updated my wardrobe ever really. Jeans and a shirt can't be beat if you are clueless, tbh. I should know, it's my staple, haha. I buy cardigans and jumpers and shit on a whim thinking I'll wear them out and they just get thrown in a corner somewhere, lol. There are enough people in the world who are willing to talk to you in good faith, such that you have the opportunity to build up your confidence in social interactions. It's okay to ask someone a question. For me, it clicked years ago in high school when a classmate once told me that I seemed to have good things to say and asked me why I don't talk more. I eventually went from being a hopelessly shy person to a person eager for serious conversation. Having said that, encouraging a shy person like this would be a good way for those with more confidence to brighten other people's lives. There are plenty of people that would take that statement from a classmate and see it as a commentary on how they are failing, or are inadequate at being their full self. It's great that it worked for you, but it's not going to work for everyone. I believe the key in asking people why they don't talk more is to ask it in a polite suggestion more. A classmate once told me that I seem to have good things to say and asked me why I don't talk more. I believe people hear "why don't you talk more?" and blame themselves for not having the courage to speak up since it isn't brought up in a happy, suggestive way that has happier connotations. By giving them a compliment on the things they say will make them think, hey, someone actually likes what I say. So I believe that it's just the way that it's said/heard. If you tell them you like the things they say, then it has higher potential to help them other than trying to demean them. It sounds dumb, but I tell myself I love you every night. It helps defeat the negative talk, and if I love me, others definitely can. And check out the book, Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It, by Kamal Ravikant. Loving yourself is the most important thing you can possibly do. Removed. Why am I crying over this at work? Maybe you realized that you deserve love, and / or this made genuinely happy. Stand up big and tall, but don't make it look unnatural. Talk loud and clear to people. Let others and yourself know that you have strength and power. I saw this video once where it said that people who make themselves bigger, literally bigger, before situations where they might seem underconfident were able to be more confident, if that makes sense. I saw it in a public speaking class one time. For example, before an interview or even before talking in front of a group of people, stretch yourself out, get big, don't be hunched up in a ball. That would translate to you feeling less confident if you were sitting, bent over, all nervous. I don't know if that helps, or if it's what you were asking, but that seems to help me feel confident in a nerve-wracking situation. This is a big one. The stretching yourself out is a great way to put it. It's like you're decompressing and saying, all right then, let's have a go. Removed. Thank you very much. Fake it till you make it. Also, walk confidently, no more hunching over. People always underestimate how much subtle body language influences things. Literally just by standing straight up, shoulders slightly back and chin up a little, you can increase your confidence by like 10x. and walk with your destination in mind. Exercise. Eat right. Therapy. Affirmations. Tell yourself that you believe in yourself and your capabilities several times a day. Practice what you want to get good at. Start small. And build. Get comfortable at spending time alone. Travel. I agree with all but 6. I think it's the opposite. My biggest issue is that being alone is preferable. So I've had to work on getting comfortable spending time out with friends. That said, this list pretty well covers it. I think it very much depends on why the person is lacking confidence. For example, I identified with 6 being there because in my younger days I stayed in a relationship longer than I should have because I didn't have the confidence to realize being alone was preferable. I think a lot of people tolerate bad relationships, romantic or not, for similar reasons.